Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and, of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss U.S. government pumping tokens. We saw a little 2x on the back of some government action. We're going to talk about Solana's continued strength, break down today's PCE data, and crypto market bounce. I'm joined today here by Kix. I think Easy is going to be joining us shortly as well. Kix, it's been a couple days, it's been a week almost, actually. How you feeling? How you living?
Yes, sir, man. Doing good, just dealing with the summertime chop. Chilling. How about you?
Pretty good. I know we're seeing a lot of crashing out on the timeline and doom and gloom right now, but I'm still feeling good.
Yeah. I mean, it's only probably like doom and gloom if you're trying to time a top or you bought the top, right? Or you're in some fucking crazy alt play.
Yeah.
Most other things, it's like, I don't know, just, what was your entry, right? It's like, Solana's 211, you could have bought it multiple times under 150, recently, as of this year.
I feel like we're exacerbating the problem. They're sitting there, they're like, they didn't enter at these levels. They bought in on the FOMO of everything going up. Like, oh, we're gonna break out. We're gonna go new all-time highs. Now, now these guys are telling me, hey, why didn't you buy way back when? They're just going right to the timeline. They're like,
yeah, I'm sorry. I should give constructive advice. Like, what you should be focusing on is learning how to leverage trade the 1-minute candles on Hyperliquid.
just completely drain everybody.
That's your only way to make it now. I hate to break it to you. The meme coin trenches are dead. ETH NFTs are going to go to sleep for a month. And you're just going to have to be a degenerate gambler if you want to make money. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I hate to break it to you.
We have seen people calling for scraps, looking at a new market that's been around and we've been talking about for a while, which are prediction markets. Seem to be the hot thing on the timeline. Everyone's saying, oh, now if you're in the meme coins, pivot to prediction markets instead.
That's the funniest thing to me, because it's like prediction markets are the antithesis of what most people come to crypto for, meaning that there's very rarely there's no you buy whiff and you become a millionaire in prediction markets. That does not exist there, right? There's no, I'm on PumpFun, I put a soul into something, and 2 days later it's
not yet. Now think about this: prediction markets, HIP3 Hyperliquid, prediction market perps. You leverage long on the Fed decision in September. Now we're talking.
Yeah, you could do that and get liquidated even quicker. No, I really like prediction markets. I've liked them for a while. I've traded them on and off over the years, over the past year, and I've really done it a lot over the past 3 months, like starting in May and June. I really started ramping up with one of my buddies. He's Tyriel, and Tyriel's been trading them nonstop for the past year. And has made a lot of money and found lots of opportunities. But he would probably, say it better than me, is that it's, there's all sorts of approaches you can take to trading prediction markets, but it's much more like, if anyone out there's played poker, right? Poker has tournaments, they have like cash games, right? And they have like small sit and go tables. Prediction markets are more like cash games or sit and go tables. They're not like big tournaments, right? Big tournaments are like meme coins, right? Or tokens, where you can buy something and you can, enter for 100, exit with 10,000. These are much more like cash games, right? Where you're trying to like double your bets, right? You're getting a lot of, or you're walking away with 50% more off of a bet, or 30% more off of a bet. So it's a lot more of like a grind your stack up kind of thing, instead of like rag to riches plays. But I have so much fun with them. They're fascinating from a structural sense. It's really cool how many different market it covers. And yeah, so I think there's a lot of ways that people can find edge. Also, but it's no different than any type of financial betting, meaning 80% losers, 20% winners. You're going to see the same here. But the nice thing is it's a way more fair playing field, in my opinion. You're not going to get bundle rugged. You know what I mean? You're not going to get you could get front ran by someone that's shilling you something, but it's not structurally set up where, like, just because you bought a prediction market before me, Ray, you have a inherent massive advantage on me, right? I could enter a PolyMarket 3 months after you and have the same edge as you. But yeah, it's not, these aren't very like pumpable things. You know what I mean? That's why it's funny, like the timeline, right? Because it's like, everybody's like, oh, like meme coin trenches, or like, let's pump these NFTs 10x. And it's like, now it's like, let's go to prediction markets, the relatively most boring thing.
Look at this. Let's go to prediction markets. I'm looking at the top profit gainer of the month. Just $1 million bets on Mariners versus Orioles.
Yeah.
It's a wild, yeah, just multiple Phillies versus Reds, $1 million redemption.
It is really cool because Tyrell and I, we did some prediction market streams last year during the election. We're thinking about bringing them back. Also over the year, we've built a lot of like internal software for us to trade prediction markets better. So I'm super excited to see genuinely excited to see the timeline, putting more attention to them, seeing all sorts of cool products come out, people innovating. I saw this new product coming out called Gondor, where you can try to take loans against your positions, and seeing a lot of infra coming up. Like there's people creating APIs where you can get, news feeds or like news informations like streamed in on these with like sentiment analysis, right? So, kind of breaking news stuff. But yeah, I love them. I have plenty of fun on them. And also I just think PolyMarket's probably going to be a big airdrop. And there's that layer on top, right? Where you can hopefully be in the 20% that make money on these things, and maybe you get a juicy airdrop in Q1 of next year.
I saw an interesting post. We were talking about tooling.
Mm-hmm.
It was, what was it? I think it was Kalshi's API.
Mm-hmm.
Was like public, and like I don't know if many people knew that. Were you the one who commented on that?
So I commented on this because this guy built a layer on top of the API.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
because I saw this. I think I saw it because you commented on it, and
yeah.
Super. So, you said it was something you were building actually, or looking at potentially.
Yeah, well, I was looking at building, but I can just now build the things that I wanted to build on top of the API that he's created, or like the API on top of an API that he created. PolyMarket has an API. That's what we trade on primarily. Kalshi has an API as well. So it's cool. You can do like automated trades off of it, or analytics, whatever you want.
Easy's gonna crash out. Sorry to interrupt, Kicks, but he's still in his kitchen, obviously. And as soon as he comes on stage and turns on his mic, his dog just starts yapping. And he just looks distraught. So anyone just listening,
I think his dog is smart. I think his dog knows it's a live stream. It's like my kids; they just know. They can just they can smell the energy on you.
Easy's been pretty big prediction markets lately. He's had a couple big hits. I think he completely cashed out the MrBeast water bet. 60 to over 90%. Yeah. 86% right now it's sitting at. Also, Lord Miles, are you still in the water fast?
Another free money play.
I see that like somebody's pissed. Like one of the head no people is like really pissed.
They always are. Dude, go read the MrBeast comments. They basically called me a retard for like 6 days.
I think the biggest no holder commented like he changed locations and like they're suing him. Like they're trying to sue him.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of this, I mean, there are real, like the amount of crash outs I see related to PolyMarket is probably like bigger than meme coins, even though that PolyMarket's probably smaller than meme coins. I mean, it's wild. I was in will Hyperliquid break 8 million in fees? And my buddy put it on my radar, and he's like, I know you're trading a lot of Hyperliquid. Like, what's the probability of this? It was at like 50%. And we looked at it for a little while, and we're like, we like this probability. So we sized into it. And then after you size in these things, you kind of look and you're like, who's my counterparty, right? Because you can see the top holders, right? And if you see people and they're like massively profitable and they're your counterparty, I mean, they're going to take losses, but you're kind of like, oh, you know, I'm going against the smart money. And we pull up the top no holder, and it's this guy with like a schizophrenic name, and he just comments in all caps. And he's like, just like schizo ranting in the comments. And then he starts spamming every day, diaper liquid as the price is going up. And then I start to see some liquidity on the books that we can sell into. And so I like sell into it a little bit to see who the person that's dumping their position. And it's the schizo guy who was like no at 40 and is now selling at 90 for like a 80% loss. And he's like, the only reason I went into this is because this other stupid motherfucker who's a loser. I should have known never to be in it. Yeah, it's crazy. And also people on PolyMarket, they'll in the chats, they'll lie to you. In the comments, they'll lie to you. They'll make fake news articles. Yeah, there's a lot of misinfo out there. You got to
the best comment section on any internet location.
It is. It's hilarious.
It's so much better than crypto Twitter. Like,
or you'll see someone like spamming that they're right, and then it's like they have 10 no's. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna make $10.
Yeah, this guy has 525K on the no, and he's so mad that the guy changed location so he can't interfere with it.
Well, he kept swatting him, which is crazy. He kept swatting a location in the desert, and he moved because he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, so this is a perfect example of crash out. Well, click on that guy's profile. See his. He's
made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, but he's about to lose a fuck ton of money, so that's why
he's about to lose $500,000.
Yeah,
and Lord Miles has an account and he comments back. He's basically like he baits the guy. He's like, "How does it feel to know you're gonna fucking lose?"
Mike said, "Newbie question: what crypto do you use for PolyMarket? PolyMarket all runs on USDC.
It's on Polygon.
Yeah, it's on Polygon, but you can deposit from like all sorts of different areas, like even maybe via credit card if you're out of the United States. But they have like a great deposit flow. You can deposit anything, but all of the trades are in USDC. So there's no kind of token volatility layer on top. It's all in USD. It's all stable. But yeah, dude, I mean, I think the cool thing is there's all sorts of markets out there that you can trade. There's kind of like social ones. That's what Easy's been doing with the Lord Miles and the
he's got a cat
and the MrBeast. Yeah, he's not allowed to.
Such free money, dude. Like such free money.
This guy's
well, you were even talking about it like 2 weeks ago. I feel like Easy, you hit me up and you're like, you said something like this guy's never not raised the amount of money that he had
ever.
And I think that's the really fun thing about these. Is it's a little bit more of like a slower moving thing compared to like a meme coin where maybe you have to make a decision.
By the way, for context, I bought it 3 days ago, so the 26th. It was at 60 cents. It dropped all the way down to 52 cents. So like I lost, like I was down at one point, and a 5 million donation hit yesterday, and that sent it to 93 cents, and I exited because I was like, they only need 1.7 more, but to get a 50% increase. Do I really want to hold this for another 3.5-4% and wait for resolution? Or do I want the capital now to go look for the next play? So I took the profits, put it in Lord Miles. That has a 50% win as well if it hits, which I like. I mean, what's crazy is like I can buy 64 cents and you can win 50% of your money if it closes, which is great.
Yeah.
Like I like that. And like, that's the thing is like, it's much slower than meme coins, but I don't have the stress of a lot of that stuff. I also found out buying into a brand new market early is also can be ugly. I bought someone in the Bodogos Discord shared alpha that Grok gave them about the Apple launch event mentions and how many times they say iPhone. Mm-hmm. And then I went into ChatGPT and actually had ChatGPT analyze the transcript, and it just straight up said the guy who gave me the info was wrong. So I'm like, I'm down like $900.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a real thing, especially on smaller markets, is you can get liquidity trapped. Like you can buy money in and there may not be liquidity books to get it back out. But yeah, AI is not. But my buddy Tiriel does a lot of mention markets. The AI is not the best at it because it can like hallucinate a lot. He manually calculates based off of the transcripts. But yeah, like early markets are like tricky because there can be not a lot of liquidity. There can be high spreads. And a lot of times when you buy them, you want to feel confident that you can hold them to a resolution. But that's the nice thing is you always have an out on these. Like if a meme coin just goes to zero, you're fucked. If you bought iPhone 100 times at 79% and it goes down to 50% and there's no liquidity to sell, you're like, we're just riding this one out. But you could, you still have an out.
Yeah, I'm on the no, and I'm down like 50%.
No on 100 plus times?
Yeah. Grog said it's never happened. ChatGPT said it's happened every single time.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
I did hit on a JD Vance mention market yesterday, though. That was nice.
That's fun.
Yeah, mention markets are really fun because you get like you get the dopamine hit of when the event's happening. And if you're on the no side of these, you're just sweating the entire event. And if you're on
like
the
taking
yes
an
side,
under on sports.
Exactly. You don't want anything to happen. And every time a touchdown scored, you're like, oh gosh. And if you're on the yes side, you're like cheering every time, right? You're like, oh, another one.
There's a few other plays I like though. Like the Nobel Prize winner one is interesting to me. I like taking Trump on that one.
Yeah, he's at like 10%, I think, on that.
Yeah. Because the thing is, bro, all it takes is him to get like a ceasefire in Gaza or a ceasefire for Ukraine and Russia, and he probably wins it.
Yeah, and that seems like a big priority to him. And there's a lot of markets to trade around that, which is fun. You can trade both of those ceasefires. You can trade things like Putin and Zelensky meeting in person.
Oh, give me your rationale. I saw you post a hedge, like a multi-market hedge kicks. That was interesting. I'm gonna try to find that post, but it was with Zelensky not being president, and was it ceasefire?
Yeah, I mean, like hedging in general on these things is kind of tricky, and like these markets aren't super correlated. I mean, they're not purely correlated, rather, but there's a lot of markets that kind of are similar or overlapping in a sense, and you can do hedges. I really don't do hedges that much. I just thought this one was really interesting. So it's basically Zelensky out as president by end of 2026. Shit. When I made this analysis, I thought it was end of 2025. So I hope no one followed in on it.
You fucked the whole thing up. It's actually garbage. You're fucked.
Yeah. Actually, this is a terrible. But let's assume that this was end of 2025. The whole point
here.
Oh, it does say 2025. Great. When you on the other thing, it said 2026. Maybe there's two markets.
Yours is definitely different percentage chance. You shared a screenshot for 26.
Yeah. So like the
here we saw where everyone followed you into the bet.
But yeah, so like this is what
this is Meat. This is Meat.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm in the wrong thing.
You're good. Anyways, the point being is, for example, Zelensky out as president, and then will there be a ceasefire, right? And those things can sort of hedge each other out, right? Because if there's no ceasefire, it's unlikely that Zelensky's not going to be president anymore, right? If they both had similar expirations. So there's hedges that you can kind of do like on that. Or like, for example, will Hyperliquid hit a certain price, and will Hyperliquid have 8 million in fees at one point in time, right? And those things are correlated markets, even though they're separate markets, right? So there's ways that you can try to reduce your risk so you can size in more on a position. But generally, I like just straight betting things. So this was a great trade for me. I got in around 50 cents on this and sold in the high 80s.
So this hasn't happened yet, right?
No, the closest they got was actually like 2 or 3 weeks ago when ETH made that crazy run. And then a bunch of people got liquidated. Remember? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, this is almost like a hedge against like a huge downward event.
Yeah, or like a euphoria top. But yeah, you could if the markets crash and people stop trading perps, then it won't hit it. But yeah, the closest was right there. So 2 weeks ago, 7.48. But yeah, like a couple days before that, it was at 50%. And then it went all the way up to 96%. And some poor sap was buying at 96%. And then then it went down to 80. But yeah, it's still trending up. But that's the fun thing, is there's all sorts of markets where if you're in crypto, you can have an edge. For example, Pump.Fun, there's a market airdrop by September, which I liked on the no side by September 30th, just because thinking of their strategy, I don't think that an airdrop in September is what they're trying to do.
And also, like, September is like historically a very bearish month for crypto too.
Yeah.
And
you would think that they would launch in Q4 if they wanted to launch this year.
Right.
And they may not even want to launch this year.
Right.
They may want to launch in Q1 of next year. And I think that was even higher at a certain point in
What's
time.
your favorite market to trade though, Kicks?
Like type of market or just market in general?
Type of market.
I like business, which would be kind of like tech, geopolitics, and then I like to trade crypto markets that aren't the price action ones. There's a bunch of crypto markets that are like, what's the price going to be in 2 days from now? And that's just like kind of like a short-term option gamble. I prefer the ones that are like, like I did some stuff with MicroStrategy purchases, right? Or will Bitcoin dip below 100K? Is that another 2026? Oh my God, I thought it was a 2025. I swear they changed the numbers on me. Or like, will El Salvador hold $1 billion of Bitcoin by when, right? So I like the more kind of not just straight, what's the price going to be on this day? There was one that was
strategy one's interesting.
Yeah. That's why I was texting PO a bunch like a couple weeks ago. There's some really interesting ones like will PolyMarket. There was one, will PolyMarket launch in the US by the end of this year? And it was at like 60%, I want to say. And I was seeing ads on X where they're like, sign up to this list to get notified when we go live in the United States. And I was like, what? Why would they be running ads to get people to pre-sign up if they have no
Found the market I like, Kicks.
Yeah. You found another one?
Yeah, Gemini 3.0 released by.
Yeah, so that's like that's the business tech stuff. Like I love
that.
I
like this one. I just took the no by October 31st.
Yeah, I think that kind of stuff is great bets.
Tiriel and I simple too. They just released Nano Banana, which is like their newest model. They're gonna let that play out for at least a month, if not 2. And most of the release cadences occur in December, which I do like.
Perfect. See, that's great analysis right there. I love that. We did a similar one, Tiriel and I. We made good money on it, and it was what's going to be the top model in August. And ChatGPT had a big release coming in August, and so Google had won a bunch of times. They had won a bunch of the previous ones. It was like Google for the last 3 months. And Google was at, if you go, you see right before August 10th when it dropped, you see that right there? Google dropped to 28%. We longed it there. And our whole thesis was basically that OpenAI was going to release a model that did a lot of things that were consumer friendly, but didn't necessarily make the model like mathematically stronger, right? Because the best model in the rules is defined by this arena score, which is very like technical, right? Like, is this response better, or is it better at doing this math equation? Those kinds of things, right? And so we were like, I think OpenAI is they're gonna release a model that consumers may really like, but it's not going to be better on paper than Gemini. And so we made a nice 4x on that. And I think that's the really fun stuff, is where you can do research into these things and build conviction on these trades. And a good amount of these have decent liquidity. Like this AI model one had a pretty decent liquidity. A lot of the liquidity is weighted in political markets and just a couple big markets. I'm personally not that good at the political markets. Tyriel is great at the political markets because he just has a good sense on those things and he does a ton of research on them. But long story short, there's a ton of different markets and there's a spot where a lot of people can probably find a niche that they like to trade. And even if you just, even if you,
favorite.
Yeah, even if you like to just do sports stuff and you think you have like a decent edge on sports, the cool thing about sports markets on PolyMarket is there's no 5% sportsbook edge baked in. So you can get better odds on all of these things. And you also can trade them live during games and get decent liquidity on them and be able to exit positions. So like Tyriel likes to do stuff like golf tournaments, right? Because what's really interesting is on a golf tournament on a sports book, you only can bet who you think is going to win the tournament. On PolyMarket, you can bet, you can fade people. You can fade the round one leader. Be like, I want to be on the no on this one. I think this guy's not going to win. And so you can exit that market on day two. You don't have to ride it all the way to resolution. On sports books, generally you have to ride your bet out the whole way because they try to hose you on cash outs. You're never getting fair value on cash outs. On PolyMarket, you'll get fair value on cash outs. So I like PolyMarket a lot, especially since you're potentially farming an airdrop. But we trade all the markets. We trade PolyMarket and we trade Kalshi. And they overlap in a lot of markets, but Kalshi has a lot of great markets that PolyMarket doesn't have. And PolyMarket has markets that Kalshi doesn't have. So it's cool to have liquidity on all of them. But there's tons of different strategies. I'd say the strategy that I've seen that works the best for most people on PolyMarket is what Easy is doing right now, which is finding a couple of markets that he has high conviction in and sizing into them. A lot of people on PolyMarket end up trying to trade 50 markets and you just end up sort of chopping yourself alive. Coach said, still like ceasefire. Yes, Kicks. Yeah, I still like it, especially after it pulled back.
Yeah, I think it's like with prediction markets, it's more like fewer baskets closely watched.
Yeah.
Makes more sense than trying to like spray and pray.
Yeah. And there's a lot of
dive deep, come up with a thesis, and then watch the market for updates and then figure out if you need to stay in it or if you need to exit because your thesis changed.
100%. And a lot of people try to either spread themselves way too thin or they'll come on and they'll be like, I want to be a market maker. Or like, I heard that there's a guy that made $1 million arbitraging. And it's what I would say to most people is you're not going to win at that because it's like finding Jared from Subway makes millions of dollars meving. Yes, he does, but you're not going to beat him at meving. You know, it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Like they got better tooling. They're smarter than you. They're faster than you. Best thing for most people is just to like find markets that they think they can have an edge on, do a lot of research on them and size into those plays and try to, less is more. Just pretty much what Easy's doing.
We went on quite a tangent here with prediction markets. We haven't done the weather report. Maybe we'll kick that off. I'm gonna do some spins here. Cool. Today's show brought to you in partnership by Yeet. You can sign up today. Go to yeet.com, use code Bodogos, or go simply to bodogos.com/Yeet. That'll get you there as well. Nice little overlay there. Use code Bodogos. So you can sign up there. I like this meme they posted about KBM, who's been bearish lately, and the market has bounced a couple times. We've got some giveaways today. We're gonna give away $1,500. We're gonna do 3 spins on the wheel here. We pulled the leaderboards, and we are basically doing this one tiered by where you are in the different tiers. So if you're platinum, which is the top, you're getting 5 entries. If you're silver, you're getting 4. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, essentially. So essentially, your name is on here based on your tier, which corresponds to like how you progressed on Yeet. So little change here. Kicks, give me a countdown for spin number 1. We're gonna do 5 for
4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
We've got winner number 1 is Ghetto. All right, we're going to remove all of him. We're going to do another spin here. Easy. Give me a little countdown here.
3, 4, 6, 2, 1.
Here we go. Number 2, $500 on the line. We've got, oh, it's close. Nixon. Nixon wins number 2. And for the third one, I will do another spin here. 3, 2, 1, go. Tio Chad's in the comments. Clemente not here to hate on Ghetto, LOL. We've got longtime listener. We've got Kaiser winning the third one. So we got Kaiser, Ghetto, and I already forgot the second one, but we have it on recording. You guys will get $500 courtesy of Yeet. Sign up, play Yeet, bodogos.com/Yeet to play. Gotta love it. We're seeing a huge number of additional people signing up and playing. Love to see it. Love the folks over at Yeet. 40% of that airdrop is going out to the community as well. Kix, you have the weather report pulled up. We can just run through that real quick. Make sure everyone's up to date and good on the news.
Yeah, and then someone said something interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, Friday, August 29th, the majors are down on the day with Bitcoin at 110K, Ethereum at 4,400, Solana looking relatively pretty good at 212. Hype tried to break out all-time highs down to $45. Over the past 24 hours, the U.S. government published GDP data on multiple major blockchains, including Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and Avalanche, using distribution technology from Pith and Chainlink oracles to distribute data across chain. Pith leads all top 100 tokens, gaining over 100%. Wow, that's wild. To a $1.3 billion market cap. Next up, you can cancel your NordVPN subscription as the CTF announced it will soon issue an advisory clarifying its Foreign Board of Trade registration rules. This will allow American users a clear path to trade on non-U.S. exchanges. Finally, U.S. PCE data came out this morning and matched estimates across the board. Odds for at least one September rate cut have ticked up a few percentage points on PolyMarket to 83%, and crypto bounced slightly on the news, while pre-market equities are still red across the board. That is it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kix, and how things can change in a 30-minute show. Crypto is
you wrote that 30 minutes early. Yeah.
Crypto's now bounced back below where we were.
Now it's bounced up and down. I just wanted to say something really quick. This DSI person in our chat said, the problem is that interesting markets have no liquidity, so you can't really size. And that's one of the biggest problems with prediction markets right now, is that most of the money is concentrated in a few markets, but there's all sorts of these interesting markets you want to bet, but then there's very thin liquidity on the book, so you can't size into the bet that you would like. This is a fundamental problem because, unlike, for example, perp markets, how perp markets work, right, is usually most people want to go a certain direction, right? So like on PolyMarket, they want to go yes. On Hyperliquid, they want to go long, right? Market makers are the ones that are providing all the liquidity. So market makers are generally always short in crypto because retail always wants to go to long, right? But what market makers are able to do is they're able to hedge out their positions by buying the spot market, right? And so they're able to eliminate their directional risk, and then they just make money on the funding rate. On prediction markets, most of these there's no clear way for a market maker to hedge. So they just have to take the straight risk on the other side against you. And so that's the tricky problem that a lot of people are trying to solve for, right? Is if Ray, Easy, and I find a new market and we all want to go long on it, probably most people want to go long on it. So who's the person that's going to go short on it? And so then you don't have the liquidity for people to get into.
Like who's taking Clemente here on the Easy versus Clemente 10K challenge?
What's it at? What's the difference, and how many days do we have? We have 2 more days.
11 days.
11 more days.
Clemente, however, took a hit yesterday, dropping almost 2K worth of portfolio value. He's down to 7K essentially. Easy's hanging steady at 9,400. on this one.
Docker XPT is down 60%. I mean, here's the thing, dude. The dude just loaded up a bunch of meme coins and has to diamond hand them for 30 days.
I knew what I was getting him into when I said you could not rotate in and out. I'm not
literally when I listen to you set the terms and conditions, I'm like, how is Clemente not pushing back against it? Easy basically just said, here it was like World War I surrender, and Clemente's Germany and Easy's France. And like Easy just handed him like the terms of his surrender. And Clemente's like, well, I guess I'll take that.
Oh, it's a great deal.
Yeah. And Clemente's down real money now. Easy.
Yeah, it's like not, I thought they were just doing this like paper trading. It's not even like that. After the show, they're like, here's my positions. They're locked up 30 days.
He's down. Clemente's just down $3,000, which I'm sure kind of is like a little bit of like a gut punch, you know, and he just has to hold it. The funniest ending would be if he just quits, if he just gives up and just dumps everything.
The best thing about this whole situation for me too is just like, okay, here's the situation that's going to happen. Either we both lose money, or I'm going to lose less. Or we both make money and he's going to make more. But there's no way memes rip if alts don't also go higher.
Yeah, like hype would.
I was just kind of like, my downside's protected significantly better.
Yeah.
And the alt, like I can lose this.
And still make money.
There's less downside in hype than the God token on abstract.
I'm either gonna lose a little bit of money and win this challenge, win money and win this challenge, or lose this challenge and win money, which is just a great, I win 2 out of 3 times in that scenario.
Yeah, like I have a 66% chance to be perfectly content.
Yeah. DSI in the chat says maybe the solutions to the prediction market problem is by changing from a CLOB to an AMM. That actually makes it even worse for people providing liquidity because you don't get to control your position, like your position on the market. There's a reason why PolyMarket went from AMMs to CLOBs and got a ton more
the whole
volume of liquidity.
Thing though is wicked interesting to me.
The whole what?
UMA, like the oracle that dictates what's yes or no.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, it's been like sketchy for
I was gonna say, can't you just swing it if you have enough votes?
Yeah, I mean that's generally like why, like they've never rigged like a is red the color red. You know what I mean? Like things that can't they operate.
Zelensky's suit one was like the big deal.
Yeah, so like for example, the Lord Miles thing, right?
Yeah,
like or even the MrBeast thing, where there's just some whatever that word is.
Well, the MrBeast one has drama on it right now too.
Exactly.
There's like a lot of drama. The $5 million donation comes from this like really sketchy organization. Exactly. So they're like, what happens if the 5 mil gets clawed back or ends up not being counted? Or
that's why selling in the 90s easy and not carrying to resolution is a great strategy that I'm a huge fan of. And I personally do it a lot. It's like, well, bro, I've already made most of my money.
I sold my JD Vance one for 99.5 because I was like, it'll take another day to resolve. Like, what is $4? You know what I mean? Like, there was stuff like that where like I'm content selling into something. Overall, like I don't know. I look at a lot of these markets. I've actually got a few bids out right now. I really like the culture stuff. Like I really like the culture stuff. I feel like it just leaves a lot of free money on the table. But some of them are really low liquidity. Like there's a Rotten Tomatoes bet I like that I'm like, it concludes September 1st and it feels like free money, but there's only 6K volume. So I don't think I'm gonna get filled on my order.
And DSI, the market can start at 50-50 liquidity and LP doesn't lose. But imagine anyone that wants to add liquidity after the market starts. And then also imagine 2 people trying to put $1 million bets into a liquidity pool. Like what happened with like the Trump presidential election. Imagine like there was some guy won $65 million on it. You get a lot of slippage trying to do that with an LP. Trust me, I think PolyMarket's pretty smart.
Movie on Rotten Tomatoes easy is looking at right now. There's a lot of Rotten Tomatoes bets on PolyMarket.
I get wrecked on movie markets. That's like you just kind of learn like where it's like, okay, I feel like I have an edge here, and I feel like I don't have an edge here. The tricky thing
is the one I have an open bid on.
Yeah, and that could be good. The tricky thing with the movie markets is there's people that have been basically speculating on movie things for decades. Like there was this thing called the Hollywood Stock Exchange, and it was like paper trading, but you could like bet movies and stars and stuff like that. So there's really smart people that do a lot of research on these things. So if you're just like I remember last year there was this Blake Lively was in this like drama movie, and it was This Is the End or The End of Us or something. And
The End of Us. I remember this entire saga for you.
Remember that?
I remember this whole saga.
I was like, this movie's gonna tank. It's gonna suck. And I go like no on it. And then I literally go downstairs and my wife's like, do you see this new Blake Lively movie? I think I'm gonna go with my mom and my sister. I'm like,
you bet on how much it would raise
yeah,
in the opening weekend.
Yeah.
And you took the under, and it ended up like setting records for how much it made.
Yeah, it broke records. I was like, okay, I got demolished on this.
Found it. It ends with us opening weekend.
Yeah, it was not good for me. I think I was like under 40. Yeah, and it went big. Yeah. Not showing the graph.
Better historical data on these.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's a really prediction markets. I love them. It's fun. I think it's cool that people are bringing more attention to them. And there's all sorts of ways that you can make it on there. And there's some really cool stories. I mean, people that have made millions. Like during the presidential election, it was wild. A bunch of people made millions betting on Kamala Harris to win the election before Biden dropped out. So they were getting her like under 5 cents or under 10 cents.
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of those people ended up losing money to the French bettor that said Donald Trump was going to win. But yeah,
Didn't GCR also make a bunch of money on this, betting on it like 2 years ago?
Maybe.
His like whole thing was he was saying like Trump would win in 2020 or something like that. It was fucking nuts. 20 whatever it was, or he won, then didn't run just the most recent one. He said he would win again. GCR had like a long form post about how he was like taking odds on that. He also bet SBF that he would win $1 million. Then obviously FTX collapsed.
Yeah. I mean, like he's like a perfect example of like predict. Like I've always thought, when people like talk shit on the timeline, they're like, I bet this thing goes to this price. It's like, cool. Like Kobe, can you like custody the money? And I'm like, why not just create a PolyMarket market? And then one of you just puts a bid up for $1 million and the other person takes the other side. And then you have like a immutable contract that's going to pay out the winner.
Do you trust who do you trust more, Kobe or UMA?
Yeah. Kobe for sure.
Yeah.
Actually Kobe. But I think that's what's happened. So UMA has been a problem with PolyMarket for a while. Kalshi just resolves it in-house. I think what PolyMarket's going to do is they've talked about they're going to a new resolution system and a new reward system. And I'm assuming all of that's going to be tied into the PolyMarket token. So I think those are all going to come together and they'll have some sort of different system.
We have some pretty brutal dumps across crypto at large right now on the day. I mean, Ethereum almost down to 4,300. Solana,
I know, likey
pinged off of, I don't even know what I drew here. Some sort of line.
The red line was right. It was resistance.
Some sort of resistance line there. Down 208 from basically 217. Bitcoin also down. Bitcoin looks the worst out of all these charts to me. Easy. Have you been looking at the charts lately? Like, what do you see? Like, Ethan Sol kind of just look fine. Like, they look like right now could be like a lower or a higher low to bid for Ethan Sol, but Bitcoin just kind of looks like junk. What are your thoughts on like?
Open up the 4 hour for Bitcoin and it doesn't look bad. Like, look at this 4 hour. This doesn't look bad.
Yeah,
you just don't really want to dip below like 105. Like that line's a bad line. Stay above this line, we're good.
There's a lot of
air. But line drawn for ETH. This is kind of, I'd be short here, down to here, 41.88.
It's bad when Sailor over the past month top blasted about 30,000 Bitcoin in purchases above this price. That's a real concern I have. Is just like if he can't keep buying, who's buying?
I was looking at that purchase market. Go ahead, Easy.
The market doesn't look bad, but like,
yeah, it's just end of summer, right?
Yeah, it's just boring. Like, We're just
bored. It's Wall Street just playing their little like chop games.
Yeah, like hold this line and we're fine. It's the only line I really care about is there. Because then, dude, like, look at this. S&P just continues to make new all-time highs. I still think we probably get some level of a decent pullback. I don't, like, you want gaps to fill, but, dude, these gaps are so motherfucking low at this point now. Like, we're so overextended from, like, all of these open gaps that we have that it's like, do we ever fill these?
Okay, no, I was right on the Bitcoin. There's a PolyMarket. Will Bitcoin dip below 100K before 2026? And it's a 70% chance.
Yeah, 70% chance. Yes. Yeah.
Below 100K. 70% chance it does before next year.
On that?
How much liquidity is in that? I don't hate that. Kicks?
That's 2026 kicks.
No, before 2026. That's what, see, the tricky thing. Before 2026. It ends December 31st, 2025.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 67% chance. There's $1 million on this thing?
Yeah, I mean,
Binance 1 minute candle.
Yeah, that's the thing. It only if it wicks for 1 minute below.
It's just so funny. Like, do you trust Binance 1 minute candles?
Yeah.
No, it's not a wick though. Oh yeah,
The
it is. It has a final low price. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad that I want to take the no.
I don't think so. That's what I was looking at it when I've been looking at it. I was like,
I don't hate the no.
Yeah.
I mean, you were just showing like if we lose 105, we're in trouble. We're not too far off of losing 105 right now, right?
But that's also probably good support.
I was looking at the DXY too, easy. DXY doesn't look like it's doing much. So like
no,
seeing the crypto market drop is just it's just a little odd to me right now. Feels like something might be coming. Who knows?
Something might be coming.
All right, I bought this.
You're in. So you took the no on Bitcoin dipping below 100K.
34 cents.
Interesting.
The nice thing is if it goes back to 120K, you can sell for a 2x, and then it could go below 100, and you don't even have to.
That's why. Like I'm betting this because I think the sell-off is over exaggerated.
Has been happening already.
Yeah. In September, you'd still need a 10% drop for the month to drop us below it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the odds.
Yeah, I mean, if we get through September, I mean, everyone's been pointing to a bullish Q4. We'll see if we end up getting it. Who knows, though, as always. PCE came in. We talked about in the weather report. Basically, rate cut odds shifted a little bit more in favor of a cut in September. So basically, the data came in right at estimates. So no big surprises there. A little more certainty to the rate cut market. Outside of that, not a ton of action yesterday. We saw PumpFun buying back more pump token a couple days ago. That market moved a little bit.
Are they using 100% of the revenue, or are they using more than 100% of the revenue?
I want to open up their dashboard.
They've been using 99.3%.
Gotcha. That was a good market. PumpFun buybacks, 40 million worth before September. That went all the way down to 31% in the beginning of August. So if you kind of felt like they were going to do the buyback machine, that was a nice return.
Yeah, I don't see their buyback thing very easily to find out how much.
Yeah, I couldn't find a dashboard. That's why I never traded the market.
Yeah, they have one. Like PumpFun has an official one. I just can't find it right now. I'll dive into that. Also, did you see CyberKongz new token coming? Kong. 2% of the supply going to active OpenSea users since 2023.
Sweet.
There's a Dune dashboard for this. I think you needed to do $10,000 in Ethereum NFT purchases on OpenSea since January 1st, 2023.
Since 2023, not before 2023.
Correct. This is like bear market traders, essentially.
Sweet. That V1 punk troll trade's going to work out for me.
Did you do it on OpenSea or did you do it on Blur as a question?
I did it on OpenSea, and I also bought my Pudgy on OpenSea, so that gets me above 10K.
Perfect. Yeah, you're good to go then. Yeah, 10K in purchases, not total volume.
Yeah, I was purchasing. I was buying.
We'll see that. I mean, they are. I have no idea what banana or what Kong is. They had banana. I think they sunset banana and like, okay, we're another token coming. One token per bull market is what you get apparently.
I would guess it's either a meme coin launchpad or a prediction market.
Interesting.
Bad joke. Okay, I guess.
Like I could see it. They could really just say any buzzword they want with it.
You see, Sandbox is doing a meme coin launchpad. I was like, that's weird.
Are they? I saw they fired half of their staff.
Yeah,
like the co-founders are out. Like, what is the staff at Sandbox doing right now? To be honest, like,
yeah,
just vibes, bro.
I'm happy that they launched because they made me a lot of money in 2021. But you know,
you've got to do something to keep this map up and running.
Yeah, I mean, the map was really like the the in the 90s, like the internet billboard. Remember that website?
Yeah.
Pixel. Everyone bought a Pixel.
Yep. There was like a Reddit thing.
It was pretty much a version of that.
Yeah.
Man, that was a time to be alive, dude. When I was selling plots near Bored Ape Yacht Club's plot for 2.5 ETH. People were like, I want to be closer.
Yeah, I want my dot closer.
Yeah. I was selling 3x3s because that's the smallest square that can get an image on Sandbox.
Yeah, putting bids out on the outliers that aren't listed.
Yep.
Hitting one of those, sweeping the surrounding land.
Yep. What a time to be alive, man. I hope someone runs it back in some way.
Yeah, I feel like we've lost the idea people in Web3, or else everything's been saturated. Like we had NFTs, we had metaverse, we had meme coins. Like what's next? We keep saying like there's got to be a new meta. We just haven't seen it yet. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of like fantasy sports stuff, but that's yet to be seen if that's going to really take off.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy, and it's really what it is that there's been no new money has come on chain, right? Because like this cycle, we got ETFs, right? ETH, Bitcoin. So most just like reasonably smart people are just putting their money in there, right? And then what do we have? We have Solana staking, we have ETH staking, right? So then a lot of people that are on chain are just staked and holding, right? And I would argue, other than January of this year, I have not seen any normies bring money on chain. Versus last cycle, NFTs could only be purchased on chain. So it created a ton of liquidity inflows on chain. Like I had 2 friends that basically downloaded a Phantom wallet and were trading PumpFun meme coins. That's the only like sign that I've seen. So the tough thing is just on chain, there's really no new liquidity coming in. So there's just, and most of the liquidity's been around for a while. So they kind of are hip to the games that people want to play. So I think that's the primary problem with like, things launching. But then you have interesting things like Privy, Privy making it easier, and MoonPay making it easier for people to get money on chain. But that stuff's kind of like fragmented into like a singular app. But I mean, I think that's the big like next unlock that we need. I go back and I think a Nifty Gateway, right? And Nifty Gateway was ETH-based NFTs, but you could load money on with a credit card. So that's how I got like my start was like I was able to just like put 50K on Nifty Gateway. It wasn't even on chain. It was just like a login and a password. And I had 50K and I was able to trade NFTs. And then like once you're like familiarized up, then I felt comfortable like bridging that money out on chain and like buying stuff on OpenSea, right? But that kind of stuff was like super easy. Or like Top Shot. Someone will have to correct me on that, but like with Top Shot, could you just buy Top Shot with credit card?
Yeah,
I think that's the only way to do it. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know if you could like do it on chain at that point.
Yeah. So like those are the big things of 2021.
Buy it with a credit card.
Yeah. So like those were the big things of 2021. That's the most consumer friendly you can get. It's like, you know what I mean? You can buy these sort of on-chain things, but you can just buy them with a credit card and they're in this like ecosystem.
We did this weird thing where we started like super consumer friendly with that stuff. And then we just went so niche down like how we can get on chain more and more on chain and monetize. And like, I think we're starting to maybe move back with back in that direction with like realizing like, hey, all the on-chain like super degen, super niche money has been passed around and extracted at this point. Like we need new people on chain.
Yeah.
So everyone, all these companies are building. They're not building for like it doesn't make sense to build for like crypto Twitter.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to be long-term sustainable, like you need to be building for a different market. You need to have a market that's targeted and a plan to get that market on chain or
and like your lowest friction point ever. This is like, you know, commerce 101 is like if someone's interested and wants to put money in, that has to be the easiest step, right? That's like why hype is still undervalued. Cause it's like I try to tell my dentist friend, I'm like, dude, I'm really bullish on hype. You got to buy it. And he's like, okay, how do I buy it? I'm like, okay, so you got to put money on Coinbase. You got to bridge USDC over to Arbitrum. Then you got to bridge it into Hyperliquid and then buy it. And he's like, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not doing that.
You can go Coinbase to Hyperliquid now. You can do that now.
You can?
You go Coinbase. You go Coinbase and you do send money to unit.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I stand corrected.
Yeah, you get your unit deposit address and you use that as your Coinbase withdrawal address.
But then if you a unit deposit address, you have to sign it. You have to get a wallet.
Yeah, you need a wallet. But you're gonna need a wallet to get hype anyway. Yeah. So like at some point you're gonna need an on-chain wallet to have hype.
Yeah. Like my point being like Nifty Gateway, I was like, create an account. Okay, username, password. Cool. Credit card. Great. I'm gonna load in $3,000. Great. Awesome. Now go buy NFTs. You're done.
Yeah, it was like mint artifact capsules. You could use credit card.
Yeah.
Somebody went into incredible credit card debt that I was in like a Discord, one of my first Discord chats I've ever been in. One of my buddies got me in, and this guy went irresponsibly hard on credit card on artifact, whatever those capsules are. Like, man, everyone's like, this is such a cash grab. Just incredibly hard into that. And then the Nike announcement came out, and he just printed millionaire, walked away. Never heard from him again.
What a legend, dude. Let's go. Another one you could buy with credit cards, the Trump NFTs.
Yep. All right. So, moral of the story needs to be easier to onboard. It needs to be giving the money needs to be the simplest part. We keep going. I feel like down the rabbit hole of on-chain complexity in some cases. I love that stuff though. So it's like tough to like find a balance because you need to find which markets you can tap into outside of Web3, and that's not an easy thing to solve. That being said, we're coming up on time here. Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful Friday. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Catch us on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Watch us back on YouTube. See what we're talking about live. Kix, you doing that new show you're talking about next week? You want to plug that?
Yeah, dude. I think it's going to be, I thought it was going to be Tuesday, but I got some football drafts going on Tuesday. So I think it's going to be Wednesday. But yeah, Wednesday, the plan is set up on the sim, live stream, talk markets, and make fun of my golf swing. Easy has said that my driver looks like a guy with polio. So should be pretty fun. And then hopefully what I'm going to do is gaslight Easy to then join on his own sim, and we play against each other and talk
do that?
stuff. Yeah, with TrackMans. You can, yeah. Sick.
Oh, I have a Sky Tracker.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I mean, you could literally, you could just hit on your Sky Tracker, and I could hit on it. We could
just pick the same course.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get a TrackMan?
Yeah. Thanks for, moves were made, right? Let's say moves were made. But
all right, that's it for the show. We'll catch you next time. Ray, I'm ending the stream. Peace.
Yep. See you on Tuesday.